Hello, everyone. Welcome to CareerPath AI. This is AI for the future of work, where we aim to reduce uncertainty and stress for students navigating the workforce. The core problem isn't that students lack ability. The real issue is that the system is very opaque. Job descriptions are noisy and full of jargon, so students struggle to translate school and projects into what the employer is actually looking for, leading to imposter syndrome. Additionally, students send resumes out and tend not to get any messages back. This uncertainty creates unnecessary stress, and most students don't know how to fix this issue. They don't know why they fell short of the job description. So our insight is make uncertainty visible. If we can clearly show why a role is, say, an 80% fit, and what can drive that missing 20%, we replace anxiety with a clear, actionable roadmap. So what is CareerPath AI? CareerPath AI is a student-first career navigation platform. It guides students from exploration to preparation to applying with confidence. There are two core design principles that we had in mind. First, decision support, not decision replacement. We don't claim to predict hiring. Additionally, we're powered by responsible AI, where we combine transparent scoring using ONET skill structures with guardrailed LLM support via Gemini. The key point here is we give students next best actions grounded in real job descriptions with clear limitations so they can trust the tool. So here's how that plays out as an experience. The iteration loop measures success. This is the behavior change we want, a tight confidence building loop. We start by discovering gaps. The student sees what's missing based on explainable overlap logic. Next, we learn and adjust. The role coach suggests targeted ways to close those gaps. As the student builds the skill and updates their profile, leads us to number 3. Alignment scores update in real time, so progress is visible and students apply with more confidence. We measure success with outcomes that matter. Higher confidence, reduced time to ready, and quality feedback loop allow us to understand how to improve our AI and how to make students more confident and more comfortable applying for positions. Additionally, we use real-world data sources, such as live job feeds using Indeed RSS and LinkedIn RSS, along with Google Careers and Adzuna. We also use ONET skill clusters, which is a subset of the US Department of Labor's ONET structure to empower explainable skill mapping. We also use college scorecard context, not as a prediction engine, but as a grounding context so advice isn't disconnected from real outcomes. Essentially, our recommendations aren't invented, they're tied to real market signals and credible skill taxonomies. Why don't we take a look at how this actually works? Let's get started. So you can either log in with your email or password, or we can continue with Google. So I'm going to log in with my Google account. It's instantly going to put me in the home dashboard. So now let's look at our account tab really quickly. We'll see that I don't really have anything here. Now, I don't want to input this manually. So I'm going to paste my LinkedIn URL, and I'm going to put import. And instantly, this populates the entire account with all of my past experiences. So let's save our changes. Additionally, if I had a resume, I can also upload that over here as well. Now, if I go to my home tab, if you noticed before, we were at a 20% alignment. It's jumped to 31%. So, based off my account, our AI knows that I am a software engineer student. So why don't we click on this software engineering intern by Google? We'll see that I have a 37% alignment percentage. Now, ONET inspired cluster essentially indicates that this job aligns with skills including programming and complex problem solving. So why did I get this score? Why don't we take a look? So one of 20 profile skills appear in the job text or requirements, essentially meaning that I only had one skill that mapped to what the job is actually looking for. There are a few other factors here, but we'll go through them later. This is the job description, and this is the requirements. This is exactly what they're looking for. Now, I can ask my role coach, let's say, what should I learn first for this job? Now, my role coach is going to think for a moment. It's going to give me a really good advice. Let's take a look. As you can see, right here, it says to strengthen my data structures and algorithms knowledge and practical application. This is fundamental for Google's technical interviews and directly addresses the strong problem-solving skills requirement. Essentially, my role coach is here to get me to be more closely aligned with this job description. Additionally, I can format my resume or format a cover letter using the details in my account. So if I click on Format Resume, it's going to generate a document for me. There we go. So it says resume safe to documents. I'm going to download my resume. We'll open it up right over here. So as you can see, it created a custom tailored resume specifically to this position. Additionally, we can make a cover letter as well. We'll do the same concept where I can download my cover letter as well. You can also search for jobs and filter through specific jobs. Let's say this one. This is the one I just created a cover letter and a resume for. I can also preview my resume and my cover letter within the application itself. So here's my cover letter. And I can also apply now. So this will take me to Handshake, which currently doesn't support RSS. So this specific position won't work. But we can also save jobs for later. So I save these 3 jobs and they all show up right here. Let's pretend I created a few more of these resumes. We'll make a resume for this position. We'll also make a cover letter for this position as well. So as it creates these documents, I can head over to the Documents tab, and we see that the cover letter and resume that we created initially shows up here tied to that specific listing. You can see it populated with those other 2 documents as well. This allows you to create resumes tailored to those specific jobs, and if an interview arises, you get to see the actual resume you created. Along with this, you can upload previously used resumes and cover letters and transcripts and save them all within the app. We also have a career assistant here that can ask about internships, skills, interviews. It can help us basically understand how to navigate this workforce, what we should look for within the job, how how to build our skills as well. And then lastly, we can also log out. Go back to our slideshow. We want to show why people can trust our program. Well, we have clear visible reasoning. The user can see exactly which skill clusters and keywords drove that alignment score. As I showed you before, the why this score button clearly shows how our skills map to what they're looking for. Additionally, intentional capping, where we cap scores below 100% and label them as estimates, because certainty is misleading. Having a 100% score implies that we know for sure they're going to get hired, and we do not want to convey that message. We also have a human in the loop where AI parsed data is staged and must be confirmed before it becomes part of the user's profile. So we're not asking students to blindly trust a number. We're showing them the logic and keeping them in control. So let's address bias and fairness within our program as well. We explicitly identified likely bias sources and included mitigation and monitoring. So geographic and representation bias. Job feeds can skew US/English and towards certain regions. Mitigation includes user-controlled location radius and avoiding one-size-fits-all defaults. Our historical and proxy bias uses ONET, which reflects historical labor patterns, and keyword matching, which is only a proxy for qualifications. Our mitigation is that our system openly warns that alignment scores are imperfect estimates. We also have subgroup monitoring. We plan to compare score distributions across regions and sources to detect systematic differences. So fairness isn't an afterthought. We design for it and monitor it. Here's the system structure that enables that separation of explainable scoring versus generative coaching. At a high level, our client and server uses React plus Vite on the front end and Node and Express on the back end using a unified origin. The AI and data layer uses Gemini, which handles the natural language generation and tasks with strict guardrails, while the alignment score is computed via deterministic TypeScript logic using ONet clusters. We also have our storage layer, where Firebase authentication and Firestore secure user data and isolate access by user ID. This architecture is intentional. Anything that must be explainable and stable stays deterministic. Anything that benefits from language reasoning is guarded and monitored. Finally, post-deployment, this is how we treat this as a lifecycle system, aligned with NIST AI RMF. We want to map and measure. We want to monitor our feed freshness to detect the API raw, track LLM error rates, and log distribution shifts in scores. We also want to manage and govern, which we pin model versions through environment configuration and fall back safely if our live feed fails. We also have feedback loops, where thumbs up/down signals improve prompt, UX, and guardrails over time. So we're not just building a demo. We're showing how it remains reliable, responsible, and maintainable after launch. This is CareerPath AI, real-world signals, explainable guidance, and responsible operations, designed to reduce uncertainty and student stress. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. I appreciate it. Have a good day.